4:33, Scott BR on the Mighty 1090. And getting ready for San Diego State, UNLV tonight. As USA Today said, two heavyweights from one of the country's deepest conferences going toe-to-toe tonight at Viejas Arena on the campus of San Diego State. And that is where San Diego State Athletic Director Jim Sterk is standing by. Jim, good afternoon.
Hello, guys. Thanks for having me on.
I just tried calling your cell phone a few minutes ago when you were boring us all in that press conference, just so I could try.
It wasn't you. It was a question.
Right. No, it wasn't you. It was everybody else. And I was thinking that if you took your phone out in the middle, you would say, "Hey, guys, sorry, I got to go take this call."
Right.
I thought I was trying to save you. I thought, you know that move that guys do for one another, save me. Jim, you didn't have your phone on.
No, I left it up in my office just thinking that you would do that, so I got rid of it.
Did anybody at this press conference, because we took a commercial break and we honestly couldn't listen to it anymore. Again, not you, them.
No, all the questions.
Did anybody ask you about Manti Te'o?
No.
Okay, well then it's a boring press conference. Okay, because that's the story. Right. Jim, thanks for being with us.
Well, thanks for having me. Well, since we're so boring, we'll just move on.
No, not you. Not you, them. Hey, you notice it's not those guys that were asking the question. I mean, because here's the thing, Jim. I heard a lot of those questions, and there seemed to be a lot of judgmental tonality to many of those questions, like, but you said you were committed to the Big East. Can't you just make it really simple and explain why staying with the Mountain West is a much better move for San Diego State right now?
Yeah, our decision last December it was based on access and revenue that we thought could stabilize our program. Things have changed in the last 13 months, so we had to make the best decision for San Diego State at this point in time, and we felt that remaining in the Mountain West was our best decision.
Really started wondering after I heard you talking about the head coaches meeting, when you got all your head coaches together and kind of canvassed. I mean, did anyone bring up a point that was kind of against the grain?
Oh, actually, yeah. I mean, a lot of our coaches, for their programs, it was better for us to remain in the Big West, and for some, it was better to remain in the Mountain West. So there was no clear consensus of what we would do, but the best thing that came out of it was, they felt they were informed. They were going to be supportive in whatever decision that the president and I made, and they'll move forward and they'll be successful. As I said in the press conference, we had 9 championships last year, and we're going to go. We're gunning for more. So, and starting tonight, I mean, a great game, as you guys talked about, the game of the nation tonight in basketball. All
right. So Jim Sterk is the athletic director at San Diego State. San Diego State makes their announcement today that they're staying in the Mountain West. My guess is Steve Fisher said I'd prefer to stay in the Mountain West. Tony Gwynn probably said I'd prefer to go to the Big West. Is that accurate?
That's probably accurate, yeah.
Yeah,
probably. But he can't tell you how they voted.
No, but why not? I mean, the Big West has outstanding college baseball. Maybe one of the best 2 or 3 conferences in the country. Take it from me, I'm a college baseball expert. On the other hand, for Steve Fisher, the Big West had virtually no real sex appeal. I mean, right?
Right, and he actually, though, I talked to him about different scenarios. He goes, there's something to be said about being a big fish in a small pond. So he was looking forward to that as well. So Steve was fine with what we were doing, and really was supportive. And I couldn't ask for a better team player than Steve Fisher. But if all things are equal, then if we're not getting a larger revenue from the Big East and helping stabilize our program, that maybe some things have changed, like I explained in the conference today, that the Mountain West has changed. They've done some things. There are some things that have changed since we announced 13 months ago, and one of those is we have an opportunity for national exposure on the second tier that they negotiated with CBS. So they're going out to ESPN, to Fox, to NBC, to CBS, and looking at what can we do with 19 football games and 25 basketball games. What can that drive, and what kind of opportunity is there for the conference? So that was exciting. That's better than what we've had before, and I think that nothing against CBS, and they're a great partner to be with, but there's an opportunity to help move the conference forward in both revenue and exposure.
Yeah.
And you said that things have changed since you guys first started and then made your announcement. Maybe I'm just going to throw it out there. Maybe you were hoping for that. Maybe you made your announcement and maybe you got a little you just got a little more elbow room in there and it kind of loosened up a little bit and it's more to your liking.
Yeah, there's no question, I think, with Boise State's announcement and our announcement of leaving the conference that it caused some things to happen in the Mountain West, and so the Mountain West, they added a couple members. I called Craig Thompson. I said, "Hey, good chess move," and they expected Boise to come back in June, but we worked with the Big West, and Boise was allowed to enter their programs if we got to that point, and so there was. But then this last time, then it was then I called him and I said, we need to talk. After he had sent a friend of mine, one of the athletic directors, to say, hey, we just want you to listen, and we were willing to do that.
All right, Jim Sterk is with us. He's the athletic director at San Diego State. Big game tonight, San Diego State UNLV, but instead we're talking about San Diego State's announcement that they're staying in the Mountain West. Listen, I don't mean to put you on the spot because I always hate when people do this, but tell me if you can talk us through this real quick. San Diego State going forward will be part of a conference that will include, I'm just trying to see what the Mountain West has done, because you and I have had this conversation about adding this guy, adding that guy, taking these guys out. Let's just go through it if we can real quick. And again, I know you're not sitting in front of a computer, but it'll be Boise State, San Diego State, Colorado State, right?
Yes.
Fresno State gets added to the mix, yeah?
Yep, they're in there this year.
Okay, Hawaii?
Yes.
Nevada?
Yes.
New Mexico?
Yes.
UNLV?
Yes.
Wyoming?
Yes.
And Utah State and San Jose State?
Come in next year.
Okay, and that's where we are right now?
Yes.
I mean, think about that. Think about how much better it is to be able to play against, and for me, San Jose State and Fresno State, and being able to create these rivalries within the state of California, then throw in UNLV, throw in New Mexico, maybe something gets cooking up here with Hawaii. You got Boise State. I think it's a much better conference for football.
It's a lot better, and it's growing. And you've seen what's happened with basketball. There's talk of 6 teams possibly make it to the NCAA tournament. When I came in 3 years ago, 2 made it in.
Right.
So I think the league has turned into a monster as far as basketball, and hopefully we can do the same thing with football.
All right, let me ask you this, Jim, because to me this is a big kind of important part of this. In the final analysis, you had the Mountain West Conference on one side of the country and the Big East on the other, and it became kind of a battle between the two. And it looked like for a long time the Big East was going to win. Well, guess what? They lost. The Mountain West Conference actually beat the Big East Conference in terms of sustainability.
Yes.
I'd like to know what you think is going to happen to 2 schools in particular, SMU and Houston. Because if I'm the Mountain West, I still want to expand, and I'd like to get those 2 schools from Texas. What is your prediction?
Oh, good question. I think from being in the meetings with those folks, it might be split with those 2, but
I'd rather have Houston. By the way, I could care less about SMU. I'd much rather have.
What's your personal preference there?
I'll tell you why.
Right.
Because I like the city names of a lot. Fresno, San Diego State, Boise State, Vegas. So I'd rather, and I think Houston is the much bigger market. And not much bigger than Dallas, but SMU's not really. They don't own Dallas, and I'm not even sure Houston owns Houston really.
Right.
But Houston's a great TV market, and I'd love to have the Mountain West have somebody in the state of Texas. And Houston plays an exciting brand of football. Traditionally,
Scott, I think something could happen. It's not going to happen right now, but in the future, that certainly could happen.
All right, let me ask you this: because Boise State gets out first. Boise State, the Mountain West, somebody's got to pay the Big East, right?
Yes.
Who's that?
Boise State.
Okay, they have to pay, what are we talking, $5 million, $10 million to get out of this deal?
That remains to be seen.
Okay, now, for you guys don't have to pay the Big East because you had it in your deal that you could go ahead and get out without paying, assuming they left first, right?
Correct.
Okay, now, what happens with San Diego State and the Big West? What are we talking, $10, $20? What are we talking here?
No, it's $1.5 million.
$1.5 million bucks. Now, and
that's chump change to you, I know.
Well,
Wow.
right, no.
Write him a check, Scotty. Write him a check.
You tell me, though. You have a lot of support, obviously, on campus. Hey, we'll find a way to pay for it, right?
Yes, yeah, and actually what the deal is we had forfeited our revenue by announcing we were leaving. We had forfeited our revenue for this year, and that revenue from the Mountain West Conference is about $2.4 million. So part of our deal going back was we received that 2.4, and then out of that we'll pay the Big West exit fee.
All right, and then I know you talked about this a little bit in the press conference. What does this do to scheduling? I mean, what games did you have scheduled next year in football, i.e. maybe it was Rutgers, maybe it was Connecticut, maybe it was Army or South Florida or whoever. What can you get out of those games now, or do you have to go through with next year's schedule?
No, actually, we'll have a Mountain West schedule. We have our non-conference games. We have a great game, Oregon State here, and Eastern Illinois, and we go to Ohio State, and we go to New Mexico State, and then from that, then we'll also have 8 league games, but they'll be from the Mountain West. And what remains to be seen, we're going to meet in a week here, and whether there'll be divisions and then a championship game at the home, the highest rated conference member that wins a division. So it'll be similar to the Pac-12's how they did their championship game, which most likely will head in that direction.
Yeah. I don't know if this thing could have worked out any better.
It's pretty good.
Isn't it great, Jim, by the way, when something really crazy happens and you got to make a move, and then like a year later, it all kind of works out to your advantage? I mean, I wish that would happen to me. Wait a second.
Well, I appreciate that. You guys landed pretty well.
Yeah, no, we are right now to radio what you guys are to the Mountain West.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, should be a great game tonight. Thank you very much. A very entertaining and informative interview. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, guys.